Let's add her now. Hello, Coach. How are you?
Hi, Matt. How are you?
I'm doing fine. I had a couple connection problems here as I had Deidre Watson on, so hopefully those stay uh, away
Uh,
with you. But
I've
I'll
had them
be
in the
on.
past.
Yes,
So,
yeah. But I'll be on your call tonight as you guys play Western Reserve. And, Western Reserve, I'll be calling Badger as well in the game before. I know you guys will be watching that game for sure. But to focus on your game, what a run you guys have had. You come in, you beat Fairport first round, and then you beat a kind of a scrappy Chalker team as well, just to keep things going. What what's going on there in Lowellville? What's the vibe right now? Like,
I
what's
mean,
going on?
I'll be honest, the girls are just having fun. We're trying to keep things relaxed, keep things pretty basic, just preparing for one game at a time. But they're enjoying themselves. We have a couple seniors, four seniors on our roster. They just don't want it to be, done. Normally in years past, we've been a little hesitant. We've been scared prior to games. These girls are showing no fear right now. They're excited about the next challenge. So I think that's been the difference at this point.
Yes, fun is. I've definitely talked about fun on this show before with previous coaches that I've brought on here, and fun has really extended a lot of team seasons. Definitely Liberties, and definitely your guys's as well, and a couple other teams as well, including Kirtland on the other side in Division 3. And even Matthews coming in here tonight, and Matthews is going to have a big matchup with Badger, their third meetup of the year, so that's going to be an interesting game as well. But Lowellville, Western Reserve, yeah, you guys met up earlier in the season, took a tough game, 54-25. But hey, it's in the past. It was a long time ago, and this is a completely different stage. Anything can happen, anything at all. Upsets. We saw that with Brookfield and Cardinal Mooney. And, with you guys as well. You guys, pull up 2 games and look where you are, 2 away from a district championship. But going into this game tonight against Western Reserve, you guys have definitely zeroed in on them. What's the game plan here tonight? Like, keys just to keep them at bay.
Because we're so familiar with them, we definitely know personnel. We know any one of those players that at any given moment can score, and that's sort of what happened in both games that we saw them this year. Looking at the books, the scoring books, they had just different people hurt us in each game. So we know we got to shut down any girl that steps on that court. The biggest one obviously is Brooke Shantz. She's their leader. She's their main ball handler. She creates a lot for herself and for others. So if we can minimize what she does with the ball, keep the ball out of her hand as much as possible, I think we would have a chance. But the girls just got to go and relax. Like you said, we're the underdogs. We're used to being in that spot. They're actually have taken to it. I think we play better when there's no expectations. They're excited. They're excited for the challenge. They're excited to get to another district semifinal game, and it would be great to just get one more under our belt and see if we can get to a district championship and see what happens from there.
Yes, most definitely. And the team you just took down in Chalker was a 15-8 team, and Western Reserve is right there too. I believe, yeah, they're 15-8 too. So you're capable of taking down teams that have won some games this year. And you guys, even though your record, you're a little bit under 500, right, 10-13, right?
11 and 13.
11-13.
Yep.
But that doesn't matter at all. I've called teams last year. For instance, the Badger boys team I called last year, they were around that 500 mark too. They were a 9 seed. They made it to the semifinals. Unfortunately, the ride ended there. But, you pull off a couple games in this tournament. It doesn't matter what your record is. You go in, it's a different stage. You pull off a couple wins, and you guys are definitely revamped. Any team is. Do you guys feel that way as well?
Yeah,
Just like
I
you.
really do. I really think the changing point in our season came when we played Crestview at home.
Yeah.
That game was pushed back a little bit, so due to some illness we had on our team early on. But at that stage of the game, I think our girls, knowing how good of a team Crestview is, that we battled. I mean, we were in that game all the way until the last couple of minutes, and even then, I think we only lost by 6 or 8. So when you go up against a team like that, I think these girls started to really believe that they could play with and beat teams regardless of size. I mean, we are undermatched and undersized on any given night. Our tallest girl's 5'7", so when we have to battle against Springfields and Crestviews and anybody that has anybody over 5'9", it's a
Yeah.
difficult thing for us. But that game was sort of our turning point when these kids were like, wow, we could play with the best, and then we saw East a couple weeks ago, and
Yeah.
that's a solid basketball team. And once again, we battled, and
I think you
so
guys only lost by 6
yeah.
in that game. So to stay with a team that has had a great year like East,
Mhm.
you can stay with anybody. I mean,
It,
it doesn't matter. You don't really look at wins and losses when you play those good teams.
mhm.
You just see if you can keep pace with them. And you guys have. You guys
Yeah,
really have.
and I'll be honest,
And
I think that most of the girls on our team probably don't even know our record. So
yeah,
they don't even
that
look at
doesn't
that in the
matter.
sense, yeah, and it really doesn't matter. So it's not like I'm really stressing you guys, this is our seed and this is the seed we're going against.
Yeah.
We're familiar with Western Reserve. We're comfortable. We've had a couple really good days of practices, really just looking at what we need to do to put the ball in
Mhm,
the basket and get better. Each time we played
mhm.
them, we struggled to do that. The first time was a little closer. The second time we didn't have our starting point guard, so that did hinder us a little bit. I think we've changed some things up. We've changed some personnel and where they go and what they do, and I'm just excited to see what we can do tonight. I really
So
am.
oh, yeah, I'm excited too. I'll be there. I love calling playoff games, especially district semifinals. It's some of the best games to watch, and
Yeah.
especially broadcast. So it's going to be an honor tonight to do that. But you were talking about re changing some rules and stuff like that. If you want to talk about that a little bit, like anybody stepping up, anybody like taking on a new role that has helped out. If you want to talk about that.
Sure, sure. We've changed some positions, is sort of where we've put some girls in our offensive sets and even on the defensive side, just to create some things. I believe in the Sebring game, we noticed some things with one of our point guards, or one of our shooting guards, Serena Tish, one of our juniors.
Yes.
We had her sailing a little bit in the post, and we were like, boy, she really has some nice moves down there. So I
Yeah.
think it takes the pressure off her a little bit of the ball handling part of it, and it opens some things up for us that she's able to seal and create some things down in the post. She's not a big girl, but she's very strong and she's very athletic. So I think that has been to our advantage over these past couple weeks. Lily Vera Capola is, out a little bit more outside handling the ball with Savannah Prosick. I think that has change some stuff for us in regards to what teams can do against us with pressure. Lily's pretty calm out there. She helps Savannah control the ball. So those are just two of the main ones in my mind that I really think that we've changed some things of what we are asking them to do, and they're stepping up to it. They're taking on those new roles, with strong broad shoulders, and they're doing really well.
We got a good luck here for you from Gina Lucenti.
It's my
Uh,
sister.
that's your sister? That's awesome. Um, what made me kind of bring you on is the last show we were talking about girls basketball, and I had a Lowellville, somebody from Lowellville comment on the show, and I'm like,
Oh, okay.
all right. So that kind of made me like, oh, who they play? I'm like, oh, I'm calling them, and so that made it
Yeah.
even better to bring you on. But one thing that I have definitely noticed in calling games, size does not matter. It doesn't matter if you're 5'9" or 6'5". It really doesn't. I've seen girls, that are not really in the height. They don't really have the height advantage, and they completely bought out. Girls like Lily Scott with Ursuline, and definitely girls like Gabriella Miller with Badger. They will get in your face. They will. I think that even the undersize of some players really just makes them play harder.
Yes.
I've seen Gabriella Miller come up and take on girls that are 5'10", 6 foot, and just
Yes.
take the ball away, and even Lily Scott for Ursuline. So, you got some battle in those shorter players per se. They got more. I don't want to say. I mean, advantage maybe because the tall players, they come up and they think they got it won all the time. Believe me,
Mhm.
I'm 6'5". I thought I had it all. But I've played against guys even in pickup games that they work harder
Yeah.
when they don't have the height advantage. The taller people seem to be like, hey, we got it. We're tall. We got the height. We don't have to play as hard.
Mhm.
They kind of go in thinking they got it already. But
Sure,
the
sure.
shorter players are like, no, I don't care what your height is. I
Yeah,
don't care.
and I've
I'm gonna
definitely
work
seen that.
harder.
Yeah, and I've definitely seen that more with the girls as of late. Really, we're really stressing those 50-50 balls and controlling, the ball and limiting turnovers and things like that. So, you know, limiting second shot opportunities for teams is sometimes difficult because of the size advantage. But our girls are getting on the floor. They're getting after loose balls. They're understanding the importance of, that possession. So I'm definitely seeing more fight in them. They're getting aggressive, they're bumping people, where before we were a little bit hesitant to do those things.
Mhm.
And I think that's what turned us up a notch a little bit on the defensive end, since holding Southington, I think, to 25 points was a big feat
Yeah.
for us. They are a high powered team. They have a lot of outside scorers, they have some really good freshmen, a couple good shooting seniors, and we were able to limit those. I think tiring them down in the second half really was at our advantage, because we came out a little flat, weren't hitting some shots. And I think our aggressiveness on the defensive side is what really changed that game from a close win or maybe a loss to a pretty sound victory. So I think the girls are just getting gritty and understanding that our speed, because I think our team speed is one of our definite benefits. Is It doesn't matter if you have height. If we can use our speed and get to the ball quick and get on the floor and push tempo and stuff, that we'll have some success.
Yes, most definitely. And a little bit ago, you were talking about your girls just having fun and playing the game. Uh, is there anything that you've kind of incorporated in practice or anything like that? I always like to ask coaches this. Like, what is there any fun drill you've guys
You
done?
know
I've
what?
talked.
It practices, the past couple of days when you're preparing, you only have like 2 days to prepare for
Yeah,
another team. You try to maintain focus as much as possible. What we've been doing, we've been, having some team meals, and we've been playing some games that I think the other teams think we're crazy. So when we got to Fairport Harding, that was an hour and 40-minute drive for us on the
yeah,
bus.
it's a hike.
It's a
It's a hike.
hike. So I one of the coaches, or the coach at Waterloo. He's a great coach.
Oh,
He's a mentor I look up to. Kevin Longenecker. He's wonderful. He gave me an idea of something he did with his girls when they took a long trip to a big game, and we incorporated that, and the girls loved it. The Fairport Harding girls looked at us like we were crazy. We did a scavenger hunt with gift cards, and anytime my girls could win any kind of free thing, they enjoy it. So I think that lightened us up a little bit. It lightened the mood. It kept everything pretty chill, and the girls had fun with it. And then when we got to Southington last Saturday, we played duck duck goose in the middle of the court.
there you go.
So, it just keeps everything light. The kids don't need to sit there and analyze, before the game, and be afraid, and when we have time. And so it just kept their minds off of things, and it just I think it was a benefit for us to do those things.
So, yes, most definitely. This kind of release pressure a little bit. Like, hey, this is just another game.
It is just another game.
Whatever happens, happens. It's a game. It's it's just a game, basically. And you go in thinking, some teams go in thinking like, oh, we have to win this game, or this is it, it's over. Other teams come in at much like you guys,
Yeah.
and you're just like, hey, we're here. Whatever happens, happens. We're gonna go with the flow, and I like to see teams like that. I think teams like that, teams with not let's see, not a lot of pressure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I've
We don't
seen
have
some
huge
teams.
targets on our back. I mean,
Yeah,
we just don't. I
yeah.
mean, this team's beat us twice, and
You're just
they
like, hey,
know, yeah, it's whatever they've done has worked, and it's our
yeah.
job to defeat that. So we're just sort of relaxed, and my girls are excited. They wanted to see Western Reserve again. We haven't beaten them in my 7 years I've been here, so it would be great to get a win on this stage for them, and I think they are really excited to play it.
So, I mean, that is even more. You haven't beaten them in how many years you've coached?
I've been here 7, so yeah,
So
I've never beaten them once in 7
it's
years. So um
it's things like that have happened. I know Badger boys coach Josh Upshire. He's been here with Badger 7, 8 years, and I think they've only beat Bristol one time, and then this year they got them again. So like, hey, I mean, eventually it's
Yeah, we're
gonna
hoping it's our
take
time.
that
We're hoping
turn.
it's our time. I mean, we
So
know we need to play a near perfect game. I mean, they're a solid team. They've been in these positions many of times. They've gotten to regionals, they've been in district championship games, and so we know what we're up against. But they're our girls aren't backing down, and we're just gonna go and give everything we possibly have.
Yes. Well, good luck to you tonight. I'm definitely gonna add the duck duck goose to the broadcast tonight. I've had coaches. I've had some answers before, like the East boys coach would play Bob Marley during practice and stuff like that. But I've never heard duck duck goose and
Oh,
scavenger hunt.
Francesca
So,
Lelio gets on the loudspeaker and she'll play Barney song. And
oh geez.
oh yeah, we got some pretty relaxed girls, which
Oh,
sometimes is a good thing and sometimes not a good thing. And I'm hoping tonight it's a
yeah.
good thing if we can go in and relax and just play.
So it does. I mean, that's all about it right there, being relaxed. Some of the greatest players in history who are relaxed have accomplished great things. One example I can give to you right now, it just popped into my head. I forget what Super Bowl it was, but it was Joe Montana and the San Francisco 49ers, and they took on the Cincinnati Bengals. And Cincinnati did score and to go up in the Super Bowl, and then there's one final drive where Montana was so calm and chill that he looked up into the stands and he was like, "Hey, isn't that John Candy sitting up into the stands?" And that showed all of his guys like, man, like he's so calm and control right now, and he ended up leading them down, and they won that Super Bowl. So it doesn't matter. That's a different. I know it's Super Bowl, but like, you know, if you have girls that are relaxed, like things like that can happen.
Yeah.
So that's something to definitely be. But hey, coach, thanks for coming on here with me. We're gonna wrap things up here. Good luck to you tonight. I'll be there. I'll talk to you later.
All right.
But good luck to you tonight, and thanks for coming on here and talking to me.
I appreciate it. Thanks again for having me.
Yep, no problem.
All right. Goodbye.
Goodbye.